What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 232 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Closeouts. And today, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of topics we can probably cover on this one, but we're going to touch on affiliates, influencers. We even might touch on some end-to-end logistics, which right now is a little bit of a headache, I would say, for a lot of people. So we're going to touch on all that, and we're super excited to have our next guest on. Argin Gerigorian. He's the founder of Everyday Ecom and also Ship Depot. What's up, Argin? How are you?
I'm doing well. I guess I'm the microphone in this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. We'll find out. If you're a seller, then we call it three Amazon sellers and a microphone. So we'll see. That's fun. You're the first person to say that. That's actually a pretty good one right there. Yeah, you're the microphone.
That was a good zinger there. That was
good one right there. Well, we're excited to have you. We've never met before, so we're glad to learn your backstory, how you got into this space, if you did sell, or any of your back journey leading up to you founding these two companies. And then we'd like to also learn what you're doing for your clients. So just to start off, why don't I give you the floor, give us a little bit of your background, and then talk about Everyday Ecom and Ship Depot.
Yeah, so I still do sell.
Nice.
And we have a team, and that's going great with my own brand. I'm starting to lose more and more sight of that as e-commerce is starting to just blow up and go in so many different directions. But yeah, I started 8 years ago, really not knowing too much what to do. Like I'm a millennial, so I grew up on the internet, knew about selling online, but so it kind of came natural. But I didn't know marketing, branding, sales, none of that. So I kind of started with dropship and arbitrage and wholesale, and just tested all the waters on Amazon until around like 2015, 16, got introduced to private label, and the rest is history.
Yes, that's a very typical journey. And you get, especially then at that time, Chris and I did almost the identical thing. We started with flipping some products, whether it was retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, or we'd been doing some side hustles on eBay and flipping things. And then when you get introduced to the private label FBA model, it's like your eyes are open. You're like, oh, I can have a very large business almost as a one-man operation. That's what was so fascinating to me, is like warehousing, fulfillment, all that stuff can be taken off your plate. And that was the beauty of Amazon, was the ability to just to send in bulk, a pallet of items, and they're handling the day-to-day work. So it's exciting.
Now looking back, it was almost a too good to be true kind of thing, where, like, I don't know, it seemed like Amazon kind of lured everyone in, lured me in, but then it was like, oh, okay, but we're not going to give you the email addresses. We're not going to give you your customers. We're not going to give you, now it's like the address, nothing. And more is being taken away. Again, with a lot of mistakes from arbitrage to dropship wholesale, with one account suspension, which was very, very hurtful. And then going into private label from there, as every like 3 months to, I would say every quarter, they would change algorithms and how things work and pull stuff away. That's when I started realizing that I have to control the customer journey, build a brand where customers are coming and talking about the product themselves, and then kind of using Amazon just as a sales channel instead of building an entire business off of that. It was harder to do, but again, social media, email lists have come pretty easy, and now we're diversifying into that and going into our website as well.
What happened there with that account suspension? I know that's a big thing, but what happened there? If you could share what you went through the process, and I'm sure it sucked.
Yeah, that was our first year in business operating on Amazon, and honestly, I forgot what it was for. I think it was like review manipulation back then, and like we shipped some products. We had negative feedback, and then didn't really want to address the customer, and then it kind of, that's when I found out like Amazon's really powerful. But
kind of snowballed into one thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
lesson learned.
Yeah, we've all had those lessons learned, and what sucks is when your lesson learned comes after like 4 sleepless nights. It's like, oh no, that was a rough lesson to learn, but that won't happen again. You'll hopefully, unless Amazon does something crazy. But
I don't know. These days within my mastermind, I'm seeing still for random reasons. I'm hearing about a lot of competitor attacks. Like competitors are doing review manipulation for, let's say, my brand, and making it seem like I'm doing it. So there's still a lot of gray, black hat stuff on Amazon. I know they're cleaning a lot of it up, especially with like Chinese sellers being vetted and not having access to like 20, 30 accounts. But yeah, it still seems like the wild, wild west now, but definitely looks like it's getting better.
Yeah, boy, that's tough. When somebody else is doing review manipulation on your behalf, that's a hard one to defend, for sure. I would imagine.
Yeah, I've heard that like 2 times this past year. So
it's cutthroat. There's no doubt about it. It's cutthroat. So.
And I do think I'm in a pretty small niche in toys and games. I do think with more of like supplements, things that are really high volume, more of those tactics are in play. But yeah, I don't know. The whole point of this is like I thought the evolution of my mindset with Amazon has definitely grown from it being a platform where you don't have control and leverage into just another sales platform for our brand. We also do some small brick and mortar and getting into Walmart as well. So it's kind of like treating all of that as part of our business and getting revenue and customer base, building it from that.
You're a brand, and Amazon is a sales channel that you utilize. That's the way anyone starting today really needs to think of it that way. I mean, because even like cost of advertising on Amazon, it's going way up, and the ability to drive traffic from social media or influencers or any other or affiliates or any of the other things that we're going to talk about today it's a huge part of the business now. It really wasn't that necessary. You could really, back in 2014, 15, you could really have a Amazon specific business and just launch products, launch, sell, and it would go. But it's definitely, there's a lot of things are changing, probably for the better. It's probably good if you really want to create a valuable brand. These are the things you want to do anyway, not just flip things for quick profit, but play the long game. So going into that, take a few minutes to go over sort of everyday ecom, what you're doing, what made you want to start it, and then also let's touch on Ship Depot.
Sure. So everyday ecom, I haven't really done too much through it. I just have the corporation and helping one client in the baby niche sell on Amazon. They're a huge brand off Amazon, and they sell to Target, Nordstrom's, and brick and mortar like that. And they just needed some help with Amazon. So I just help one client there. And then I just try to put out as much valuable content, helpful things that I'm doing, interviews like this, just to get more of the word out. When I first started and start making some money online, just naturally friends, family are curious and they're asking. So instead of like now, if someone asks me, hey, Arg, do you think it's a good time to launch on Amazon? Which I literally get texts every day doing that. I just say, hey, check out my YouTube, check out these podcasts, go through everything, and then ask me a question. Usually they don't, after doing that, they don't come back and ask me any more details, because they see that this is not just to get rich quick, source this one product from Jungle Scout that's doing 70K, any of the one-liner things that we've heard on YouTube and things like that. But yeah, that was kind of the reason of starting everyday ecom. And then with Ship Depot, So when the business started growing really in 2018, 19, like started scaling up, we needed a warehouse. So got it for our product. And then I'm part of a mastermind called MDS, wearing the hat, shout out to MDS. And that was at the point where everyone, well, a few of the members there would need a warehouse as well, specifically in Los Angeles, just to unload the containers and then feed it into Amazon. So I kind of thought with another partner, I'm like, okay, we have the warehouse already for our brand. We have some space. Why don't we convert part of it into a 3PL and help out the community? And that's how Ship Depot was born, with another partner.
Fulfilling a need. I mean, that I also think that is another thing that anybody who's looking at getting started in this business, whether it's e-commerce, selling on Amazon specifically, the things that you learn through your own process, when as you're researching products, launching products, scaling, then you're needing warehouse, all of those things, they give you a skill set that is valuable, very valuable to others who are either in the same boat or that's not their sweet spot. That's not what they want to focus on. And there's lots of ways to take your knowledge and then create new opportunities, new businesses, and build a community around you and support others. And I think that's awesome that you took the initiative just to do that. Because
yeah, and I think going back to when I first started, when the Amazon account closed, that's when obviously like I got punched in the face. Like, okay, this isn't super sustainable, just on one platform. And then from there, I always thought like, okay, instead of as a gold rush, like trying to buy and sell gold, thinking about shovel services. So even from there, I would just try to connect with as many sellers, because I knew this thing's gonna like really blow up. And I think the community has built the next business for me. And I think for anyone else who's in this, it's like having good people around you that are in this business, have different sets of skills. It just sets us up for huge success, not just material, but the connections that you make from here, and going into different ventures and having good relationships to introduce to. We've worked with some of the biggest aggregators on Amazon. So just connecting with like their marketing department, their COO, their finance, has been huge, like eye opener, and seeing like, it's so like there's always a ceiling, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna get here, and then I'll be free, happy, whatever. But then there's always a bigger ceiling. So that's what I've been learning with.
Yeah. We all see that, and you're absolutely right. It's like you get to here, and you're like, oh, you can go to here. Oh, okay, you can go to this next level. All right, let's talk about, because I know we want to get some valuable info. We want to talk about influencers and affiliates to help market your products on Amazon or wherever else. Talk us through a little bit about would you consider affiliates and influencers the same, or would you consider an affiliate different than an influencer?
I think there's a little bit of a difference. So how we define affiliate is, and this all goes directly to our website. They sign up on the site as an affiliate, and they get commission for whatever sales that they refer on the site. And so that's what I consider an affiliate. Usually, historically, affiliate marketing has been that, where you have a link, whatever you sell, you get a commission. We actually offer anywhere from 25 to 40%, depending on their audience size and how much affinity they have with our brand. And then with influencers, we kind of have this campaign of help us on social media to create content. That's how we approach them. So it has nothing to do with Amazon. It has nothing to do with reviews. It's just creating good content. And that helps us twofold. First, we get content that we can use for our social, for our ads. And then we have them actually purchase the product. So we say, after they say, yeah, this sounds good, I love making content, I love promoting this brand, whatever, then we actually have them order it from Amazon, because we say, hey, we're only selling it here, it's only available here, whatever, and they actually order it full price. So they order it, it gets there in 1 day, 2 days. Then we actually refund them plus their commission for creating that content on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. So now with Amazon's purview, it's a full price buy. We haven't mentioned anything about reviews. After they do their content and we receive it, we'll have a light follow-up like, hey, if you really enjoy this, it would really help us to have a review on Amazon as well. I think that's totally within terms of service. This is a legit purchase. We're actually using this as a promotion for our brand and our business. And that's actually worked pretty well for us. We get hundreds of reviews like that. It is pretty costly up front, but again, we're getting content, we're getting ad content, and we're getting I think it's like a 90% review rate. Some of them, they don't leave it and they forget, but we have like a 90% review rate with that flow.
Are you using a tool to find influencers, or are you doing this manually through like Instagram searching? How are you finding influencers that fit your market?
Yeah, so we do have a scrape tool that we give any hashtag, and this is something that a developer built on Upwork. So we go through him. Any hashtag that we put that's within our brand, it goes and finds usernames, and then with our employees, we just go one by one and follow, engage with them, share their content, and kind of introduce them to our community. This isn't there's no formula to this, but it's a lot of give and take, a lot of relationship, and then we go for an ask.
And you mentioned that it can be fairly costly up front. What's your strategy on like the size of the audience, or what kind of influencers are you going after? I mean, there's a concept of like a micro influencer who maybe has 15,000 followers that might be able to provide content and do something just for a free product. And then there's influencers that have millions of followers where it can be expensive to work out a contract with them for them to do a couple of posts.
Yeah. So again, my niche, my product and brand is fairly within a sub niche, I would say. So we don't even have any influencers that have 1 million followers. Our highest influencer has been like 250K. So every one of them has been a micro influencer, I guess that's the word. But the other day I was actually today on my drive here, I was listening to Daniel Moran, and he was saying all you need is 5,000 people to build a 7-figure business. And that's very true. Like I would say on average, our influencers have been even from like 1,200 followers to 50,000. And those have worked really, really well. Like their followers are super engaged with their content. They look at everything. And our products have like 1-to-1 affinity with their audience. So I think this notion of like, just because the quantity of the followers is bigger doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the results. That might even be even more expensive and not have direct affinity with the audience.
I really like the affiliate play here, like sign up as an affiliate, get cut back when you promote products through a special link. How are you doing that? Is that through just manual Google spreadsheets, or is there a tool you use to like link in your Shopify account?
Yeah, on Shopify we're using Go Affiliate Pro. I think it's the actual app is Go Aff Pro, and like they sign up for an account, takes like 5 minutes. After they do that, they get a link. We can go in on the back end and manually set what percentage they get. But after that link, once they have it, they just promote it usually in their link in bio, their link tree, their whatever. And they go from there. I haven't recently checked how long. For example, if someone lands on that link but doesn't purchase, I think it's 30 days
Usually.
that it tracks. But I haven't checked recently. I know they sent like an update, an email update to us, but that's been working really well for us on Shopify.
And those affiliates, an influencer's posting something on TikTok, Instagram, something like that, and that's driving traffic to find your brand, whether it goes to Amazon or goes to your Shopify site. But with an affiliate, what kind of content are you seeing them produce? Is it a lot of blog posts? Is it a lot of reaching out to their email followers? How are they driving traffic for you?
Yeah, I would say primarily it's been blog and Instagram. That's the main two that we focused on. Our mastermind's talking heavily on YouTube and TikTok. I haven't gotten into that, and I'm sure they do email marketing as well. But our main two has been blogs and Instagram that we're focusing on.
And when you implement a strategy like that, obviously when you're selling on Shopify, you've got larger margins than when you get all the customer information, et cetera, as opposed to Amazon where you don't get that and your margins are much slimmer. But when you end up with an army of affiliates, linking all to your site, there's an impact on how Google treats your website, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not an expert on the Shopify end, and we do have an agency that helps us with the ads, and they're looking at impressions and visits and all of that. So I'm not. I understand the top level strategy, but I haven't gone into the details and looked at numbers like week by week and what it's doing. I just know we do get a good amount of sales from our affiliates, and it's like it has affected the margins in a way because most of them we do offer 40%, and that's only because I'm trying to pull some away from Amazon. I really I wouldn't mind if the margin is lower than Amazon or at the same place as Amazon. At least we have emails and phone numbers, and we can send them new products. It's more controlled. So I take that any day over Amazon.
Right now, if you balanced the business on Amazon versus your Shopify, how does that break down? Is it 70% Amazon, 30% Shopify? What is it?
It's like I would say 60% Amazon and 40% Shopify, and it used to be 70-30. So we're pulling away more. I think our goal is like 50-50, but even 60-40 has been great. A lot of the customers realize that we're on Amazon as well, and then they go try to look for other products. I did discover this strategy, which we're trying to implement now, that if the collection starts growing, not to list all the products on Amazon and Shopify. So kind of do maybe the core products on Amazon and then everything else on the website, so that there is this kind of flow where people are the best sellers, the top products that people are finding and that are doing well. Yeah, you could have those on both. But as let's say they buy something on Amazon, that accessory or that add-on is not on Amazon, so they're forced to go to Shopify to purchase that. That's worked well as well.
Are you doing anything with the inserts? Do you do any product inserts with the product? And what's that process look like?
Yeah, we do have QR code inserts, and all of them actually lead to a ManyChat flow. So they go to ManyChat, and it's very top level of here's the product that they purchased, here's who we are as a brand, and then I believe, and someone the agency is handling this, I believe that we have an offer within ManyChat. But again, I haven't looked at that in a while. But we do get a lot of people scanning the QR code, and I see the stats of people joining the ManyChat list. So that's been another good area of customers that we've acquired and have that communication with.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty hot topic right now anyway, and the 60-40 split is impressive. I mean, I'm nowhere near that in terms of, I mean, mine's like 95-5 Amazon. And it's, and that there's challenges to doing that, but I mean, building a long-term strategy, that is the goal, is to start acquiring your customer data. And it's interesting, just all the different tactics that people are rolling out to try to do that and stay within terms of service. Amazon wants them as a customer too. They don't.
Of course, but I don't think any Amazon seller should be shedding a tear for that $1 trillion behemoth.
That's a really good point. Yeah, they'll be doing just fine. Yeah, and people anyway, like you mentioned, I mean, they'll still go to your website and then maybe even bounce over to Amazon anyway for Prime shipping or whatever their comfort level is with the Amazon process. It's super simple. They one click and thing shows up in a day or two. So you can, it needs to be there. I mean, you're never going to be off Amazon.
100%.
But in terms of launching and awareness and all that, it's critical. And then
they are now going more into like the brand and highlighting and showcasing their, trying their posts, which we get impressions, but it's not really converting. I do have to check the numbers again, but like they're going more into giving some things back to the brands, analytics, tools, the referral program, posts, as we mentioned, just to highlight and showcase more of the brand. So I do think there is some good that is coming out of that, but knowing Amazon, like, I don't know, it's going to be for their benefit ultimately and their customers, and then for us as a brand.
Speaking of affiliates, do you ever utilize like Amazon's affiliate program to have affiliates drive traffic to Amazon and get referrals? I mean, if you're implementing an affiliate strategy, obviously it makes more sense to go to your website with that traffic. But have you experimented with that at all as well?
I haven't.
I mean, the payout is so low.
Yeah, I think it's like 3% or something. So we use that as like a leverage to get actually the affiliates to sign up for our program. And we say Amazon pays 3%, we pay 30-40%. So that's kind of the tipping point. And a lot of these influencers have done Amazon affiliates before, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm just wasting my time at this point. And those are actually the really successful ones that come over to our site, because they're putting the same effort, but they're getting 30%. Now, granted, we don't have 10 billion products on the site, but usually they're sticking with the brand that they like. They're promoting the products to their audience, and it works out well.
Do you do anything to continuously nurture that relationship with the affiliates? I mean, do you provide creative material or marketing material or updates or adjusting their commission based on their success or non-success, or cut people off the program? How do you maintain that relationship with them so they keep providing value?
Yes, that's a good question. We do have one social media manager that handles all of the communication, relationships, just relationship building. We have done some content collabs with them, like giveaways, doing collaborations with content creation with our graphic designer. But mostly it's on them, and they do their stories. They write a blog post. They mention the link. They promote it back on a post, on a reel. If we have new products that we've launched, we'll let them know. Obviously, all of them are following us on Instagram, so we have that communication. So everything that we post, if they're interested, we'll have that communication there, and our social media managers handling all of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room to, I think, be creative in that. I mean, if somebody's really driving a lot of traffic for you, that builds that relationship, and then it's valuable time spent for you to help them do better. What more information do they need? Do they need some free products to showcase or highlight or take pictures of for their blog or whatever it is? I really feel like a lot of brands out there don't utilize affiliate programs as much as they could, and there's a ton of impact. I mean, it's imagine if you had 400 affiliates promoting you, that's a lot of blog posts, that's a lot of awareness all over the internet and social media.
Yeah, I think that's one of the traps, again, as Amazon sellers, that we could be lured into. It's kind of like this. We get on this platform, it's going so well, and we think it's going to just last forever. There's always the next competitor that is thinking ahead, thinking outside the box, thinking of different strategies. I think all of us are aware every couple months Amazon's changing an algorithm, changing something. So I've always had that mentality, like someone's out there to get my seat and they're coming for me. I don't know if that's paranoia, if that might be good or bad. But it just always keeps me on my toes to keep innovating, keep thinking of new strategies. And ultimately it's the brand and the community that comes with that brand. Because at that point, if you have even 10,000 people strong, committed, loving your products, giving you feedback, you're kind of vulnerable with them. I think that can set a lot of brands apart. But again, I think by default, Amazon sellers go to, how can I just get more reviews, and how can I be on page one and position one and spend a whole bunch on PPC to stay there, and do some tactics to keep pushing that up and different keywords. That's all fine and good. But there are competitors that are doing that, plus the affiliates, plus the influencers, plus ManyChat, plus Facebook ads, plus Pinterest, plus TikTok, plus YouTube. So we haven't even scratched the surface, but I am definitely thinking about these external traffic sources and building a community so that we can, have good communication, good relationship with these, with our audience, with our buyers, with our customers.
Yeah, if you can build a tribe, they'll stay loyal. That's for sure, and that's a very different mentality than a lot of people, especially back in the day when they first hear about Amazon FBA. It's much more about what product will work. Can I get a quick flip on it? Let's move on to this next product, and they're all over the place. But when you really build a tribe around a brand, they want to stay with you. They'll pay a premium. They'll do a lot for you. They'll be your best ambassadors. They'll tell everybody about you. But there's a lot of work involved in keeping that community alive and fed with new content and all the other things that come involved in it. So
yeah, I definitely couldn't do it by myself. And again, I'm kind of the visionary of the company, so I don't do all of the work. So I'm very grateful and thankful for a good team and people who have strong skill sets that like to take over those things. And I think that's part of building too. It's not just normally, again, Amazon sellers have been solo or a couple VAs, and we give them the tasks, which is fine. If that's all we're doing, that can still be a 7-figure business, sometimes 8-figure business. I do think to go into the brand route, and now you have these communications, these conversations. Sometimes our influencers are our biggest critics too. So we take the hits as they come, but we listen to them and take their feedback. And again, we need people on our team to help us with that. Definitely could not do it by myself.
No doubt about it. Building a team is critical. You mentioned that you put out content for people to check out, learn a little bit about the space, learn more about you. Tell everyone how can they get in contact with you if they want to chat with you? How can they find your content if they're looking to learn more about this space?
Yeah, so I'm primarily on Instagram. I do have Facebook, but I'm only in the Facebook groups. My Instagram is it's Argin, ITS Argin. Anyone who DMs, especially on Amazon, I chat with them for free. I even jump on 15, 30-minute Zoom if people have questions. I love to share my screen and go into the details, or if they have questions, share their screen and go into the details. But Instagram would be like the best place.
We will make sure that we put all these links. We'll link to your website. We'll put the Instagram link in there. Very generous of you and your time to talk with people, just walk through some things. That's super helpful. I know, and then they can maybe partner with you on some of the other services that you offer. So we've got the link rolling at the bottom there for everybody, and we really appreciate Argan for joining in, telling us your story, talking about what you're doing with influencers, affiliates. It's fascinating. I think it's something everyone needs to implement. So we need to.
I just have to say, you the way you guys are running this is super great, and it's just been a pleasure being here. So like super streamlined, super professional. Just thank you for setting it up.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah, professional is not always a term that gets thrown around to describe it.
That's a new word for me. Yeah. I don't know what that
is. That's right. But we really appreciate it. We love it. I mean, maybe it comes across that way because it's fun. This is an absolute blast. Talk shop.
I love it.
Meet new people. Network. I mean, we say it all the time. This has been one of the greatest decisions that we've made just for ourselves. I mean, it's great for in a lot of other ways, but just to meet people and hear their stories and network, it's been phenomenal. So appreciate the feedback. And Argan, thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. If you like content like this, if you like to hear cool people and cool stories like Argan's, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. We're on every podcast platform, so subscribe to it. Throw us a review if you like what you hear. You can also see all these live streams on Solozo's social media platforms, so Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Go search for Solozo and you'll find all these videos on there as well. Additionally, if you're currently selling on Amazon and PPC is where you're struggling, or you'd like to offload it, or you feel like it's a lot of work and you know there's a more efficient way to manage it, we'd like to talk to you at Solozo. You can go to solozo.com, schedule a demo. We'll walk you through the platform, show you how we can help automate the optimization of your ads and all the other features that come with Solozo. So go to solozo.com, schedule a demo today. And that's it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks Argan for joining.